1. Introduction. My name is Lena Morty. I am 24 years old. I work in a large company. I am an assistant there. My job is interesting, but I have one big problem. My English is not good. My boss is Mr. Henderson. He is a serious man. Last month, he called me to his office. He said, "Lena, your work is good, but your English must be much better. We have many international clients. You need to improve your English quickly. If you cannot do this, you might lose your job." I was very scared. I need my job very much. I help my family with money. I felt worried. What can I do? I thought. My friend Sarah told me about private tutors. She said they can help a lot, so I looked online. I found a language center. They gave me a tutor. His name was Daniel Cross. The next week, Daniel Cross came to my small apartment for our first lesson. When I opened the door, I saw him. He was tall. He wore a gray suit and black glasses. His dark hair was a little messy, but it looked good. He smiled a little. His smile was kind. "Hello, Lena," he asked. His voice was low and soft. "Yes, hello, Daniel." "Please come in," I said. My voice was shaky. We sat at my small kitchen table. He opened his bag. He took out some books. He started to explain the plan for our lessons. He was calm and professional. He was smart. I saw that quickly. But I was not thinking only about English. I was thinking about him. From that first moment, I felt something strange in my heart. It was like a small bird inside. He was very handsome. His eyes were a beautiful brown, like warm coffee. When he looked at me, my face felt warm. I tried to listen to his words about grammar, but my mind was busy with him. I smiled too much during that first lesson. I answered his questions too quickly. Maybe I looked silly. I think he noticed. Sometimes when I looked up, his eyes were on me. He had a small, thoughtful look. Then he looked back at the book. The lesson finished too soon. He packed his bag. "Next Tuesday, same time?" he asked. "Yes, perfect," I said. Maybe I sounded too happy. He nodded. He left. I closed the door. I leaned against it. My heart was still fast. "Oh no," I whispered to myself. "This will be difficult." I knew it was not just about English anymore. Near him, our English lessons happened 2 times a week. He came to my apartment every Tuesday and Friday evening. I liked having lessons in my home. It felt more relaxed than a school. Before Daniel arrived, I always cleaned my apartment. I wanted it to look nice for him. I cleaned the floor and dusted the table where we sat. I put fresh flowers on the table. I also made sure I had good coffee. I told myself this was important for studying well. But in my heart, I knew I did it for him. I also thought carefully about my clothes before each lesson. I chose my best shirts and skirts. I put on a little makeup. I wanted to look good for him. He never said anything about my clothes or my apartment. He was always very professional. He focused only on the English lesson, but I hoped he saw my efforts. The lessons were helpful. Daniel was a patient and smart teacher. He explained grammar rules clearly. We read stories and did exercises. Sometimes he read English words aloud. I liked listening to his voice. During the lessons, there were small moments that felt important to me. Sometimes, when he gave me a book, our fingers touched for a second. It felt like a small electric shock. Or when we both needed the same pen, our hands touched. One Friday, I reached for a blue pen on the table. Daniel reached for it at the same time. His hand touched mine. His hand was warm. I stopped moving. My heart started beating very fast. I looked up at him. He was already looking at me. His eyes were dark. In that moment, I felt something strong between us. It was not just a teacher and a student. It was something different. We looked at each other for a few long seconds. The air in the room felt thick. I wanted him to say something, anything. Then, slowly, he moved his hand away. He made a small sound in his throat. "So," he said, his voice a little quiet, "let's look at the verbs on this page." He took a different pen. He pointed to the book. I tried to think about the lesson. I tried to act like nothing happened, but my hand felt warm from his touch. My heart was still beating fast. The lesson finished, but for me, everything had changed. I knew I was starting to have strong feelings for Daniel. It felt exciting, but also a little dangerous. 3. His secret. After some time, Daniel started to stay a little longer after our English lessons. He did not leave right away. I offered him coffee, and he said yes. So we sat and talked. We talked about simple things. We talked about movies we liked and books we read. We talked about things that happened during our days. I liked these talks very much. Daniel had a good sense of humor. He made me laugh. His laugh was warm and nice to hear. In these moments, it felt like we were friends. The lessons were finished, and we could just be two people talking. I felt happy when he stayed, but there was one thing. Daniel did not talk about his personal life. He never spoke about his family or where he lived. He did not talk about what he did when he was not teaching. It was like he had a wall around that part of his life. He was very private. This made him seem more mysterious to me. I was very curious about him, but I was a little afraid to ask too many questions. I did not want to stop the nice talks we had. One Tuesday, Daniel came to my apartment. He put his bag on a chair, but the bag fell to the floor. Some things came out of the bag: pens, a notebook, his keys, and a small, dark blue box. It was made of soft cloth like velvet. It looked like a box for a ring. My heart stopped for a moment. A ring box? What did this mean? Was he going to ask someone to marry him? Was he already married? Daniel quickly picked up his things. He put the small box back in his bag. He did not look at me. He did not say anything about it. My mind started to think very fast. I had to know the truth. Later, After the lesson, while we were drinking coffee, I decided to ask. My voice was not very strong. "Daniel," I said, "do you have a girlfriend?" He looked down at his coffee cup. He moved the spoon slowly in the cup. He did not speak for a long time. Then he looked at me. His eyes looked a little sad. "It is complicated, Lena," he said softly. Complicated. That was his answer. It was not yes and it was not no. What did complicated mean? My feelings for him were already strong. Now they became even stronger because of this mystery. I wanted to ask more questions, but I saw his face. He did not want to say more, so I was quiet. That night, I could not sleep. I thought about the small box. I thought about his sad eyes and his word, complicated. I knew it was probably wrong to feel this way about my tutor, especially if he had a girlfriend or was married. But I could not stop my feelings. It felt like we were in a secret game, a game that was maybe a little dangerous. For his wife. The days became colder. Autumn was coming. I still looked forward to my lessons with Daniel. Our coffee talks became longer. Sometimes he would say my English was getting better. "You're learning fast, Lena," he'd say with a nice smile, and my heart would feel happy. He still never spoke about his complicated life, and I never asked again about the ring box. I tried not to think about it. One Friday evening, I was waiting for Daniel. I looked out my window. My apartment is on the second floor, so I can see the street well. I saw a woman standing across the street. She was looking at my building. She was very tall and elegant. She wore a bright red coat. Her hair was blonde and styled nicely. She looked strong and beautiful. Even from far away, she looked special. I watched her for a few minutes. She just stood there, smoking a cigarette, looking at my building's door. Then I saw Daniel walking down the street. He was about to go into my building. The woman in the red coat dropped her cigarette. She watched him go inside. She did not say his name. She just watched. A strange feeling came over me. Who was she? Why was she watching him? Why was she watching my building? When Daniel came in, he seemed normal. "Good evening, Lena," he said. We started our lesson, but I could not think well. The woman in the red coat was in my head. After about 1 hour, I had to ask. "Daniel," I said slowly, "when you came in, there was a woman across the street, tall, blonde, in a red coat. She was watching you." He stopped writing. He looked at me. His face was hard to read for a moment. Then a small, cold smile touched his lips. It was not the warm smile I knew. This smile made me feel cold. "Ah, yes," he said, his voice flat. "The woman in red, you saw her. Do you know her?" I asked. I felt a bad answer was coming. He put his pen down. He looked into my eyes. His eyes were suddenly very dark. "Yes, Lena, I know her," he said. His voice was quiet but sharp. "That's Alois, my wife." My stomach felt bad. It felt like someone hit me. Wife, he was married, the ring box. It's complicated. Now I understood. He had a wife, a beautiful, elegant wife who waited in the street. He never told me. All those coffees, all those laughs, all those times I thought he looked at me in a special way, what did they mean now? Was I just stupid? A silly student he played with. I felt so foolish, so naive. My face felt hot with shame. He was watching me. His face was still cold, but I saw something else too. Pain, sadness. I see, I said softly. My voice was very quiet. I wanted to cry. I wanted to shout at him. How could he? But when he looked at me with that strange mix in his eyes, a terrible thought came to me. Even now, knowing he was married, knowing I was probably just a game to him, a small, bad part of me still wanted him. That was the worst feeling of all. I felt heartbroken, but my feelings for him were still there. 5. The kiss. After Daniel told me about his wife, the lessons felt different. It was hard. We were polite, but the easy feeling was gone. The air felt heavy with things we did not say. He did not stay for coffee anymore. He finished the lesson and left quickly. I missed our talks very much. I felt angry at him, but I also felt sad because I still liked him. One Tuesday evening, the weather outside was terrible. Rain was very loud against my windows. The wind sounded like a wild animal outside. Inside, the lights went off and on a few times. Daniel and I were sitting at the table, trying to read from a book. I felt nervous because of the storm and also because of Daniel. Suddenly, a very loud crash of thunder came. It felt very close. My building seemed to shake a little. Then, all the lights went out. It was completely dark. I made a small sound and moved quickly in my chair. I do not like thunderstorms in the dark. I felt a sudden fear. "It's okay, Lena." Daniel's voice was near me in the dark. His voice was calm. "Just a power cut. It will come back soon." I heard him move. Then I felt his hand touch my arm. It was warm. He gently guided me. "Let's find some candles," he said. His voice was calm, but I felt his hand shake a little. Or maybe it was my arm. We found some small candles in my kitchen drawer. He used his lighter to make the small flames appear. The little lights made shadows dance on the walls. The room felt strange now, quiet and small. It felt intimate. We sat back at the table. We could not read well with just candles, so we just sat there. We listened to the loud rain outside. The silence inside was heavy. Daniel turned his head to look at me. His face looked soft in the light from the candles. His eyes were very dark and deep. "Are you okay?" he asked softly again. "Yes," I whispered, "just a little scared of the storm." He reached out his hand. His fingers touched my cheek gently. It was a very soft touch. My skin felt warm where he touched it. I looked into his eyes. I saw a strong feeling there. It was for me. "Lena," he whispered. His voice was rough, not smooth. "You make me forget everything." Then he moved closer to me. He did it slowly. He gave me time to pull away, but I did not move. I could not. My mind screamed, "No, he is married. This is wrong." But my heart wanted him so much. He kissed me. At first, it was soft. Then it became stronger, faster. It was a kiss with all the feelings we did not say, all the tension between us for weeks. It tasted like coffee and the rain outside. It felt exciting and a little dangerous. I closed my eyes. I kissed him back. My hands went up to his hair. I pulled him closer to me. In that moment, nothing else in the world was important. Only him and me and this kiss I wanted. When we stopped, we were both breathing fast. The small candle flames moved in his eyes. He looked at me with a very strong look. He did not say words. I did not say words. A few minutes later, he stood up from the table. "I should go now," he said. His voice was still rough. I just nodded. I felt dizzy and confused. He walked to the door and picked up his coat. He stopped with his hand on the door handle. He looked back at me one last time. It was a long look. Then he opened the door and left. The door made a small sound when it closed. I was alone in the quiet room with only the candles. My lips still felt his kiss. My heart was beating very fast. Then I started to cry. Hot, heavy tears came down my face. I cried because the kiss was beautiful, but I also knew it was wrong. I cried because I knew deep inside me that this kiss changed everything, and it would probably bring more pain, not happiness. 6. Bad news. After that rainy night, after that kiss, Daniel was gone. He did not call me. He did not send a message. Nothing. 1 week passed. Tuesday came and went. No Daniel. Friday came, again nothing. It was nearly 2 weeks of silence from him. This silence was very hard for me. It felt like a heavy weight on my chest. I felt sick inside. My mind had many questions. Did he feel sorry about the kiss? Was he afraid? Was he with his wife, Eloise? Was he pretending everything was normal? Every time my phone made a sound, my heart jumped with hope. But then my heart felt sad again when it was not him. I could not eat well. I could not sleep well. I thought about the kiss many times. I remembered his words, "You make me forget everything." Did he mean those words? Or did he just say them because of the dark, stormy moment? Not knowing was difficult. I felt angry, confused, and heartbroken at the same time. I tried to study English alone, but I saw his face in the pages of my books. After nearly 2 weeks of no contact, I felt I could not wait anymore. I felt desperate. I had to know something. I had to see him. I had to understand. So one evening, I went to the language center where he worked. I told myself I went to ask about my lessons, but I knew I went there to see him. The language center was in a modern building downtown. The area where people waited was bright and busy. I asked the woman at the desk if Daniel Cross was there. Mr. Cross is with a student, she said. He will be free in about 20 minutes if you want to wait. Yes, I will wait, I said. My voice was quiet. My hands felt cold and wet. I sat on a chair, trying to look calm. My heart was beating very fast. What would I say to him? How would he look at me? After some time, a door opened. Daniel walked out with a young student. Daniel was laughing at something the student said. He looked a little tired, but he was still handsome. My heart hurt to see him. Then he saw me. His smile went away quickly. His eyes opened wider for a moment. He looked surprised. Maybe he was not happy to see me. Before he could speak to me, another door opened. A woman came out. It was her, Eloise, the woman from the street. Today she wore an elegant black dress. Her blonde hair looked perfect. She looked at Daniel, then her eyes moved to me. She smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was a sharp smile, like she knew something. Daniel, dear, she said. Her voice was smooth but had a hard sound. Is this your student? She walked towards us. She looked at me slowly. Her eyes were cold. Are you the student he likes? She asked me directly. Her voice was soft, but it felt sharp, like a knife cutting me. I could not speak. I just stood there, not moving. I felt small and very stupid. Daniel looked pale. Eloise, please, he started to say. She did not listen to him. She kept her eyes on me. You know, she continued. Her smile became a little wider, but it was a cruel smile. You are not the first one he's forgotten everything for. He does this often. He has a habit of finding these special students. She stopped, then added, But maybe, my dear, you are the last. I hope so. Her words hit me hard like stones. Not the first. He had done this before. The kiss, his words, were they just part of a pattern? Was it just a game for him? I felt sick. I wanted to disappear. I looked at Daniel. He did not look at my eyes. He looked at the floor. He looked ashamed. I could not breathe. I turned quickly and ran. I ran out of the language center, out into the cold air. I ran as fast as I could. Tears were on my face. I felt devastated by her words. The kiss, which I had thought meant so much, felt like a lie now. I felt a terrible heartbreak. I hated him. I hated Eloise. But most of all, in that moment, I hated myself for being so foolish, so blind. I ran away in shame and heartbreak. 7, I say no. After I ran from the language center, my heart hurt very much. Eloise's words about Daniel were like a cold wind. I felt shame, like I was broken and stupid. I cried for a long time that night, but when I woke up the next morning, something was different. I still felt sad, but I also felt a small fire inside me. It was anger. I thought, this bad experience will not break me. I knew I had to be strong for myself. I made a decision. I wrote a formal email to the language center. I explained that I wanted to stop my English lessons with Mr. Daniel Cross. I asked if they could send me the books and papers so I could study alone at my apartment. I did not give a reason why I stopped. They did not need to know how much I was hurt. Studying English alone was difficult for me. Every time I opened my English book, I thought about Daniel. I thought about his voice, his smile, and the things he said that were not true. It was hard to study with these thoughts. Some days I felt very sad and I closed the book. But then I remembered why I started learning English. It was for my job, for my future life. It was for me, so I wiped my eyes and started again. Slowly, little by little, I started to feel better and stronger. I put all my energy into my work. I spent more time with my good friend Sarah, who always listened to me. We talked about everything, and I felt less lonely. I began to remember the person I was before I met Daniel. About 1 month later, one evening when it was getting dark, I heard a knock on my apartment door. My heart made a quick, nervous jump. I looked through the small hole in the door. It was him, Daniel. He looked very tired. His hair was not neat and his clothes were not clean. There were dark circles under his eyes. He looked like he had not slept well for many days. He looked like he had big problems. I felt unsure, but I opened the door a little bit. I kept the safety chain on the door. "Lena," he said. His voice was quiet and sounded rough. "Can I talk to you? Please, can I come in?" I did not say anything for a moment. I just looked at his tired face. "Lena, I left her," he said again. His eyes looked straight at mine. "I left Alois. It is finished now. For real, I want to be with you. I need you." His words came quickly. "I need you." He did not say the words, "I love you." I thought about what Alois told me at the language center. She said he liked his special students. He needed someone. Was I just another person he needed for a time? Was this a pattern for him? My heart felt sad again, but this time it was a different feeling. It was like a heavy weight fell off me. It was like a chain broke. I looked at him again, truly looked at him. I saw the look of needing help in his eyes. I saw his pain. For a short moment, I felt sorry for him. But then I thought about my own pain, the pain he caused me. I thought about how hard I worked to feel strong again. "No, Daniel," I said. My voice was calm and clear. It was strong. "No." He looked very surprised. His mouth opened a little. "But Lena, I left her. I left my wife for you." "You did not leave her for me, Daniel," I said. I slowly shook my head. "You left her because your marriage was not good. Maybe I was just a way for you to escape your problems, like the other students maybe." His face looked very sad now. He knew I was right. He knew I understood what Alois meant. "You do not love me," I said, my voice getting a little stronger. "You just need someone in your life, and I cannot be that person for you. Not now, not ever again." I looked into his eyes one last time. I saw the kind tutor I first knew. I saw the man I foolishly loved for a time, and I saw the stranger who hurt me deeply. "Goodbye, Daniel," I said. And then I closed the door completely. I leaned my back against the wood. My body was shaking a little, but not from sadness. Tears came to my eyes, but they were tears of feeling free. I had chosen myself. I had chosen my own respect. In that moment, I felt strong and wonderfully free. 8. My new life. Several months passed. The weather changed from cold to warm. I continued to study English alone. It was not easy, but I worked hard. I read books, watched movies in English, and practiced speaking when I could. My English got much better. At my job, my boss saw my improvement. One day, he called me to his office. I felt a little nervous, but he smiled. He told me my English was very good now. He offered me a new position at work. It was a promotion. I would have more important tasks and talk more with people from other countries. I was very happy and proud. I accepted the job. My life felt different. I started to go out more with friends. I met new people. I even went on some dates. These dates were simple and relaxed. We talked and laughed. There were no secrets, no complicated feelings. It was nice to have simple, honest connections with people. Sometimes I thought about Daniel. It was like thinking about a story that finished. I remembered the beginning, the lessons, the strange feelings, and the end. The memories of the kiss were still strong sometimes, like a dream. But I also remembered the pain and the lies. I understood now that my feelings for Daniel were very strong, like a fire, but maybe not real love. It was more like wanting something I could not have. It was an infatuation. It hurt, but I learned from it. I learned that I am strong. I learned that I can do things on my own, like improving my English and getting a better job. I learned that I deserve a relationship that is open and honest, not a secret or a game. I closed the door on the past, and I felt free. Now, I feel stronger and wiser. I am 25 years old. My English is good, my job is good, and my life is good. The difficult time helped me understand myself better. I am not sad anymore. I am optimistic about the future. I believe that one day I will find a love that is real and true, a love that makes me happy in a simple, good way.